Alright, so the votes are officially in, and it's almost a 90-10 split. It seems that roughly 9 out of 10 of you guys would rather that I put Star versus the Forces of Evil reviews on hold for now, and finish up on Gravity Falls. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Gravity Falls reviews are now coming every Monday and Thursday or Friday-ish each week until the show is over. At which point I will cover all of the shorts and micro-reviews, while at the same time resuming my Star vs. the Forces of Evil reviews. All of that said, let's talk about Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 1, Scary-Oke. The episode initially opens up immediately after the end of the Season 1 finale. The device that I think is a portal device, has to search for something, so Stan just kind of leaves it run. But activating it in the first place caused a huge disturbance that has drawn the attention of some government agency. Meanwhile, some short amount of time passes, and things are still going well for the Mystery Shack because of the events of the end of last season. And so Stan plans to have a karaoke party to invite the community to a karaoke party that will charge admission, of course, to make a little extra money off of this goodwill, and I would also imagine to keep the goodwill going. Meanwhile, 2 government guys show up in a government car after Dipper gets his journal back from Stan, but we find out that Stan photocopied. I forgot to mention that. Stan seems nervous around the government officials, but he's entirely dismissive of their search for supernatural stuff in the town, whereas Dipper is not. He is very gung-ho to talk with them about the stuff that he himself has encountered and the stuff in the journal. So they leave a business card with him, but Stan immediately confiscates it. And later at the party, as they're setting up, including blacklight posters and blacklights themselves, which I only bring up because that's going to be important later, Wendy suggests that Dipper just goes and gets it, that Stan keeps all that stuff in his office and he could just go take it back. He does, he calls the government guys, he meets with them, and when they don't believe him, when they look at the journal and they see it as just a bunch of silly drawings, exactly what Stan basically said that it looked like. Dipper, in desperation, reads a passage from the journal and raises the dead. So now the government guys are convinced, obviously, that something supernatural is going on, but they've never dealt with anything like this, so they run away and are subsequently taken by the undead. Dipper retreats back to the party because there's just so many of them he can't deal with them. Seuss ends up being nibbled on very, very briefly by one of them and turns immediately into a zombie that still has Seuss's mind. He and the other zombies keep chasing Dipper, and then finally Mabel and Stan as well. Around the Mystery Shack grounds, Stan actually comes up out of his hidden room to fight the zombies off and protect the kids. And he reveals to Dipper that, of course, he knew about the supernatural elements of the town. Of course he did. How could you live here and not know about them? But he kept them a secret from the kids so as to try to shield them from that and protect them from that. They entirely by accident discover that there is more to the journal. Dipper had said a couple times throughout the course of the episode that he's read the entire journal, he knows everything that's in it. But entirely by accident, they discover there's more to the journal, that the author of the journal at some point started to realize that maybe somebody was after his research and started writing in invisible ink that can be revealed to the blacklight. They learn the secret to defeating the zombies, which is a perfect 3-part harmony. And so despite the protestations of Dipper and Stan, the 3 of them sing karaoke together and all the zombies die. They even discover a solution in the book to turning Seuss back into a regular human, and Stan promises that he isn't keeping any more secrets, which is a lie, and Dipper promises that he won't go looking for trouble because of the stuff he's found in the journal, which is also a big lie. And this episode was, thankfully, just as good as I expected it to be, riding on the coattails of what was a great season finale. I didn't expect it to be as good as the season finale. That would have been a mistake. But I expected it to be above average for an episode of this show, and it absolutely was. There was some dumbness to it. Defeating the zombies with a 3-point harmony was just, it was stupid. I mean, I get the point of it. It showed the 3 Pineses. Is that how you would say that? I don't even freaking know. It showed them coming together in a both literal and metaphorical sense to defeat the zombies. And it was fine, but it was dumb. What was more interesting here was seeing Stan and his interactions with Dipper and Dipper's reactions to Stan's interactions with Dipper, and learning that just as this is a new season, Dipper is left with effectively a new journal. It's the same journal written by the same person, but there's all this new information in it that he didn't even know was there before, which is silly. Usually I can tell if invisible ink has been used on a page, even if I can't read it. I would have expected Dipper to be able to tell that as well, but I'm not going to nitpick. That was really cool. It was kind of like saying, hey, this is the new season of that same old show. Here's some new mysteries from that same old source of mysteries. It just felt kind of like a metaphor for the show's renewal into a second season. But the most interesting thing out of all of the interesting things in this episode, I think, was probably getting to see Stan react to some of the same situations that he might react to on a week-to-week basis, with the added context of him not only being aware of the supernatural, but having a secret room devoted to an aspect of it, and getting to see that his reactions over the entire course of the first season were still in character, even knowing that. He was just afraid of different things than we initially might have thought. This new revelation doesn't conflict with any of his characterization, it only adds to it, which is great writing. The involvement of the government guys was interesting. I'm really curious to see if they end up coming back. The zombies as a threat weren't that interesting, but I didn't really expect them to be. This was more about the characters than about the threat. Overall, this is a great season premiere that does just as good a job as the series premiere did of setting stuff up for the story to come and getting me excited to watch that story. Excited to see it unfold. It is in no way the best that this series has ever done, but it was great regardless. As per usual, guys, if you have seen this episode, what did you think of it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.